Hello all you Japanese gaming fans out there, this is Jimmy Hapa from Import Gaming FTW coming at you today with a pickups video. Something I don't really do that often, and I think first and last time I did it was about a year ago after a business trip to Japan. And it's a pretty crappy video, and it's pretty old, but if you ever have the time, maybe give it a look. This is before Import Gaming FTW was even a thing, so it shows how infrequently I do these things. But the other day I got a big package of games that I won on eBay from Japan. And I thought maybe I'd share these with you because some of them are pretty exciting and yeah, good stuff I think. So anyways, I'm going to start off small and a couple of Sega Saturn games that I got. First one being Mado Monogatari, which is a RPG from Compile, based on the Puyo Puyo series that they are very famous for, but it's part of a series of dungeon crawlers and RPGs that they're famous for. Yeah, there was another one on the Sega Saturn called Waku Waku Puyo Puyo Dungeon, and this is more of a straight-up RPG. Really cute graphics, really simple gameplay, but yeah, really fun. I've wanted this game for a long time, ever since I was in high school, early 2000s, and I got this for a pretty good price, $12.50, and it usually goes for $50 or more. So really excited to play this one all the way through, and got to play it a little bit, and had a lot of fun. So that's one of them. The other one is Clockwork Knight for the Sega Saturn. It's a 2.5D. Well, it's a side-scrolling action platformer game with 2D pre-rendered character sprites but 3D backgrounds. One of the better games for the Sega Saturn, I would say. But this was also released in the States, so not a real big deal. But I'm going to use this for I need footage for like a future video that I plan on doing. And good to have this though. If you have a Sega Saturn, pick up Clockwork Knight. Next is Battle Arena Nito Shinden, which is a spin-off of the Battle Arena Toshinden series. One of the really early PlayStation fighting games that made an impact on the system. This is a game done in the chibi style of games, so super deformed, cute, interesting kind of game. I only paid $1.99 for this. I think it was originally supposed to be released in the States under Toshinden Kids, but it got cancelled. And I see why. It's a pretty crappy game. Maybe I'm just really bad at it, but the gameplay is really different from the original Battle Arena Toshinden games. And yeah, one thing that's interesting about this is they have these really cheesy FMV cutscenes. Like there's the intro, and there's also a tutorial with some really bad FMV, but it's interesting. Makes me miss the 90s. Another one here is Final Fantasy VII International Edition, and I got this for $2.75. And big fan of Final Fantasy VII. I think it's a little bit overrated now that I'm an adult, but this was basically the US version of Final Fantasy VII International, or Final Fantasy VII, should I say. Basically, US gamers got a lot of extra tweaks and extra scenes, some FMV scenes, but most notably the Zax, or Zack if you want to call him, as he was translated to in the States. The scene where, it shows him saving Cloud. Spoilers for a game that's almost 20 years old now. But yeah, pretty interesting. One of the things that was really cool about this was the Perfect Guide, which is a bonus disc that we never got in the States. And the thing that sucks about this particular copy I bought is, as you can see, it doesn't have the back artwork. So, too bad. I used to have this game, ended up selling on eBay years ago, but I'm glad to have it. I do have another version of this game, however. It was the Final Fantasy VII International Advent Pieces Limited Edition version, which came with a beautiful display case and really awesome artwork for the discs. And yeah, pretty cool to have the original version, but kind of sad that the artwork is missing on the back. And here is Langrisser Millennium, which is the only Langrisser game released on the Dreamcast, and probably the last in the series. Apparently it's not that great, but I haven't really played it too much, but this is only 1 cent, and I like the way Dreamcast games look, so if anything, it's hey, it's a Dreamcast game, an imported Dreamcast game, so I'm glad to have that. And next is for the Mega Drive, the first Fatal Fury, also known as Garo Densetsu in Japan. Not a really big Fatal Fury fan, but I was kind of shocked to find out that this game only lets you play as, you know, Terry, Joe, and was it Andy? No Mai Shiranui in this. I had no idea. So yeah, you know, this is also released in the States. No big deal, nothing really special. But I like the way that Mega Drive games look, and just building up my collection slowly. Here's an interesting Super Famicom game called Super Sokoban, which is a puzzle game where you play as a warehouse storekeeper kind of guy. There he is right there. And yeah, you just basically push boxes into the correct position, and it's really addicting. I popped it in the other day, and I thought I would played it for about 10 minutes, but I had been going over an hour. And yeah, really clever puzzles, simple gameplay, relaxing music. Yeah, they released, I want to say one of these games got released as Shove It for the Genesis in the States, but this is based on an old arcade game that was pretty popular way back when. And one thing I want to say about this game though is the intro is pretty hilarious, and I'll just go ahead and show you guys the intro right here. But yeah, anyway, this game was only $2.25, and before I get ahead of myself, the Fatal Fury was only $4, so not the best deal, but good. Very good game. This one doesn't, unfortunately, have the instruction manual, so it's not a big deal. It's a puzzle game. You get all the story you need for the intro. Some other things I got were Famicom games, and I got 2 lots of 4 random Famicom games. This one over here, let's see, has the Goonies 2, which is the same as the American Goonies 2, so nothing special. Formation Z, a game from Jellico, which is like a run and gun shooter. What's interesting is you play as a robot, and you can transform into a ship form, you know, kind of like Macross or Robotech. But yeah, really kind of fun game, addicting game. Formerly an arcade game. Called Aerobato, I'm sorry, in the States. But no ports were ever released in the States. But one thing that's cool about Jellico Games is that the back have little screenshots and a little manual, basically. Kinda cool. What do we have over here? It's Dragon Ball Shenlong no Nazo, which is the Japanese Dragon Ball game that was released in the States as Dragon Power. You could see the review my friend Matt Ezro did on it. I actually just got that game recently too, and it sucks, and so does this game here, but I think this one plays a little bit better somehow. Maybe I'm just biased. Annoying music. And here's another one. Another Jellico game, so look at that cool artwork in the back. But this is Urusei Yatsura, Lum's Wedding Bell. And this is a Famicom port of a game called Momoko 120%, which it's a kind of a weird game. This is just Lum slapped onto that game, and yeah, it's like an action platforming game where you can shoot out stuff, and your goal is to get to the top of each stage and get into a UFO. Haven't played it much, but it's okay. It kind of has some weird issues with the gameplay, I think, but I'm looking forward to play it some more. And this entire lot here was $4.25, oops, with the Goonies, so $4.25 for these, not a bad deal. I wish I had the boxes, but I'm not going to complain. And the second lot of 4 random games here. I'll start over here with this. Super Xevious from Namco, whatever. Not the same as the arcade Super Xevious, which was the sequel to Xevious. This is Ganpu no Nazo. It's a kind of a special Famicom edition of the game. Look at that reflection. But I really like the cartridge. It's nice and gold. I wish I had the nice little hard box, but yeah, fun. I like the Xevious games, and this is no exception. It's very fun. And oh look, Hotodogis. It's a boring strategy game, a war simulation type of game. Shingen the Ruler, it is not, but I probably won't pop this one in for a long time because I just got bored of it. Oh, Captain Tsubasa. Captain Tsubasa is a very interesting kind of, I would say this a soccer, it's based on the anime, but it's like a soccer RPG adventure type game, and I thought I was gonna hate it, but after playing the game for a little while, I got really into it, and it's pretty thrilling. Great music too, so yeah, I'm hoping to play this a little bit more in the future. And finally, for the Famicom random sets, is Ganbare Goemon Karakuri Dochu, which is the first real Goemon game, the Famicom port anyway. And as you probably know, if you watch my series, I'm a huge fan of the Ganbare Goemon series, and it's my favorite Japan-only series, even though we got a few games in the States and people in Europe got them as well. I consider it pretty much Japan-only because the bulk of the games stayed in Japan. But yeah, I did a review on the Game Boy Advance reboot and Ganbare Goemon 2, Kiteretsu Shogun Maginis for Super Famicom. And I also own another copy of this game on the Game Boy Advance. It's the port for the Famicom Minis, and yeah, it's a really good game, and I like this first game. It's not my favorite in the series, but it's good to have. But anyway, these 4 games I got for $5.55, so not bad. Next is a Dragon Ball game, Daimao Fukatsu for the Famicom, and it's thought it would be pretty cool. I was like, oh, maybe the sequel to Dragon Power, the Shenlang no Nazo, but no, it's a text-based card combat adventure game, and I played it for a little bit, and I think I ended up drowning my party, and it's kind of boring. I'm probably gonna give this away, but yeah, it came with the box, kind of ratty, but yeah, nice design, nice art on the cartridge. But not really my thing, and I'm not a big Dragon Ball fan, so put that over there. Alright, and next up I have 3 Famicom games from Namco, and these ones are pretty important to me because they were among the first Famicom games I ever bought, and of course I had to rebuy them because I either sold them or lost them. But the first one is the Tower of Jiraga, which is a maze-like action RPG starring Gilgamesh and Kai. One of Namco's most famous series in Japan, and not really a good game, I think. I don't think this was actually released in the States officially until it was part of the Namco Museum collection. But let's see, the game came with cartridge in great condition and the instruction manual, and I really enjoy this style of box here. But yeah, the game not so much. Never really got into it, but I do enjoy the characters and the story, the lore of the series. And this game is also really hard. It takes a lot of patience to get through the game. Next up is another famous Namco game, The Adventure of Valkyrie, and it's a Zelda-style game, but nowhere near as good and very difficult. The hit detection is kind of weird. I remember hating this game back when I had it years ago, and I still kind of don't like it today, but it has a little bit of charm. It's kind of enjoyable. Cartridge came in this nice plastic bag, very good condition, just like Jiraga, and came with the instruction manual, all color, very nice, and also a map of the game, which, you know, I like these kind of bonus things in these games. So it has just basically the layout of the land and some enemy information, but pretty cool. In great condition. Jiraga I ended up paying $8.50 for, and this was $12, $13, so pretty good. And last one, this is probably the first Famicom game I ever bought, and this is The Quest of Kai, which is a prequel to the Tower of Jiraga, where you play as Tetsuchiro Kai. It's an action platforming game. Well, I say action, but you can't really attack enemies. All you can really do is run and jump, and the game is really not that great, but I have a lot of fond memories of this because I bought this in a store in Shinjuku, and there were 5 copies of it, you know, brand new, for 500 yen each. And I was like, hey, I'll pick it up. I don't have any Famicom games, and I like the hard shell case here, and artwork was pretty interesting, so decided to pick it up. Was a little bit disappointed with the game, but ended up really liking this character Kai, and I ended up finding a lot of figures and goods for her. Randomly, like in a crank machine, I think the next week I got a figure of her, and found a nice figure of her, you know, in this artwork. I mean, the same style of the artwork here, and even got like a pin, just randomly. So, I don't know, big fan of this, and this is special to me on another level, but I'll make a video on it someday, and I think you guys might enjoy it. Very simple game. Unfortunately, this one was lost/stolen in a move, so I had to find this, and this was about $20, and I'm pretty happy to get it for that price. And rounding up the Famicom games is this, Getsufumaden, which is an action game from Konami that is kind of similar to Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. I'd say this game is a lot better, but this is one of the games I've wanted for many years now, and this is the first time I've got to actually own it. And I was a big fan of the Castlevania Harmony of Despair game, which is a downloadable 6-player online Castlevania game. Pretty awesome. But one of the DLCs, actually the last DLC they released for it, was a Getsufumaden level, and I didn't know what it was, but I really liked the level, I liked the design, and like the character. And when I was living in Japan for several years, I looked for this every time I went to game stores, and I could never find it. So I'm glad I actually got it now, but you know, I'd rather have the box. It comes with like a nice little 3D kind of movement card, I think, and a little like special card. But anyways, really fun game. I sat down, played this for the first time, and I liked it so much I beat it in one sitting. And I'll definitely do a video on this, and yeah, hopefully soon. So I got all these Famicom games, all these different games, but you know, I'm wondering, how am I gonna play them, because I never had a Famicom before. But got myself a Famicom AV, the new Famicom, with you know, the redesigned, top-loaded redesign in the States, but Japan's always had a top-loading design. But I had one of these when I was in Japan, and back when I lived in Japan, this was like in 2008 to 2011, these things were really cheap, and once in a while you can still find them in electronics stores, but I ended up buying these for like 40-30 bucks usually, and I would sell them on eBay for like 100 plus. But even in Japan, it seems like the price has gone up a lot. So last year when I was in Japan, I tried to buy one, but I couldn't find one under 100 bucks, so I kind of gave up. But yeah, pretty good. I had to clean it up, it was really dirty, but I got this for $89. It doesn't have the little lid here, but that's okay. Works like a charm, you know. Came with, oh, excuse me, it came with 2 dog bone controllers. These are in my opinion, the best NES controllers you can get. Very tight. And Japanese AC adapter. And it also came with my 100th pair of these composite Nintendo cables, but I know you can't really use anything else unless you modify the Famicom, which I don't think I'm gonna do. But pretty good. I'm very glad to have that. But I mean, that's the haul. That's what I got with this last box. And let me know what you think about these kind of videos. I end up buying a lot of import games, never really in bulk like this, so that's why I decided to do a video on it. But I buy a lot of import games every month, every 2 months. I probably get like 20 new interesting titles. And if you want to see more pickups in the future, let me know, and maybe I'll do some more. Anyways, yeah, and that's my those are my pickup videos. This is Jimmy Hapa from Import Gaming for the win, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.